Hey fam, I hope you had an amazing holiday or a nice weekend. And we are coming into this week, we are going to be talking about the month called Tishri, and Tishri means beginning. It runs from September the 22nd to October the 22nd of this year. It is marked by the first whole high holy holiday called Rosh Hashanah. And Rosh Hashanah means top or head of the year. It is during this time that you will hear the trumpet sound. Now, Rosh Hashanah runs September the 22nd into September the 23rd of 2025. And so it's during this time that you will hear three distinct trumpet sounds. One trumpet sound is called Takaya, and Takaya means, Takaya is marked by this long, unbroken blast that is typically reminiscent of like a king or coronation of a king. It is to let the people know that the king is near, that the king is present. There's a verse in the Bible, I believe that is Philippians 2:10 through 11, and I am paraphrasing, but it says that every knee shall bow, that every tongue confess that Jesus is Lord. So if Jesus is Lord and he's in your presence, what would you do? Which brings me to our second trumpet sound that you would hear during this time called Shevarim. Now, Shevarim is this. It actually sounds like three short, medium length blasts, and it's kind of broken, but it reminds you kind of as if somebody were sighing or something. It is to allow the person to know that, listen, the king is here. Get your heart right. Remember the verses and remember that he is present, that you are getting yourself in a heart posture to receive or acknowledge your king. And I'm going to read this one verse that it reminds me of. It's from 1 Corinthians 14:8, and it says, "For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself for the battle?" How will you get prepared if you have not heard that distinct sound that he has given? And one of those sounds is repentance. Which brings me to my last one, which is Teruah, which is a series of short staccato blasts. And this one is to arouse or to get one out of their sleep. I'm going to read this one verse, and it says, and I'm reading from Romans 13:11, and it says that now it is the time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we first believed. So it is during this time that you hear these shofar sounds to awake you, to make you know that the king is present, that the king is there. If you remember, and when we study Elul, it said the king was in the field, but now he is being ushered into your presence, and he's calling you to a season of repentance, a place of renewal, introspection. Oh, that your thoughts would be his thoughts, that your ways would be his ways. I'm going to show you, just to veer off a little bit, an example of what they are calling a trumpet. This is a shofar. I'm kind of hiding myself in here, but this is a shofar, and a shofar is used to blast. It's called a trumpet in our King James language, but it is actually like a shofar, as which I just showed you. And so I'm going to conclude with this last part, right? Um, the Rosh Hashanah, while it is September 22nd of year, and it marks the first day of the first month of Tishri, right? And the seventh month, if you're dealing with the with the sacred calendar. However, it also brings us into what's called the days of awe. 10 days that God gives you to make whatever's wrong right, so that you don't, when you transition at this month, at this time, on this specific day, from 5785 to 5786, as you are transitioning into it, that you are getting rid of the old and starting anew. And I don't know if you remember this verse, but behold, I do a new thing. Shall you not know it? And so, fam, I want to read to you this verse from Isaiah 55, and it says, "Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call on him while he is near. Why? Because one of my favorite verses, and I say this one often, is Proverbs 16:3 Amplified C. Roll your works unto the Lord, commit and trust them wholly to Him. He will cause your thoughts to be agreeable to His will, so that your plans will establish and succeed for your new year. So, fam, remember that the trumpet is sounding. Remember to sound the alarm. Remember to arouse yourself to hear that the King is in the place, and that every knee shall bow, that every tongue confess that Jesus is Lord. I thank you for your time, and I pray that you have a blessed and prosperous week.